crazy week, and it's only Wednesday.
You know what? I have no idea what day of the week. Well, I do know it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what day of the month it is. I have no idea what month it is, only because of the fact that one day here in New England, in allegedly the springtime, we have snow flurries. The next, it's 65 degrees. But the crazy thing right now is our RV is still sitting in winter storage, and that's
terrible. That is terrible. Well, we got a fun show tonight. You know, people are stuck at home, staying at home. Campgrounds are closed. People can't go anywhere. And we had two of our dealers just hop in motorhomes and go to the other side of the country. And our first guest tonight.
I'm really looking forward to tonight's show because of the fact that both of our guests tonight are people that are actively engaged in the business, but more importantly, they're actively engaged in RVing. And they're going to tell us their stories tonight, not necessarily from the fact of business owners in the RV industry, but consumers and people who actually go out and see what RVers do when they're out having fun in their RV.
Oh, wait a minute, John. I know it's a crazy week now. In fact, the craziest week of all. Rick Kessler is already on the show.
Don't tell me that.
Rick Kessler says, "Good evening, gentlemen."
Look at that. He's on time.
He's on time. He is the first viewer on tonight.
Bob, timeout. Timeout. You know we always have a timeout in the first 2 minutes.
Right.
It's my feeling that Rick Kessler is now tuning in for the show that Roland on TV did at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, he was 20 minutes late for that one too, so we shouldn't feel bad. We got Scott Nichols on.
We should be honored.
Hey, Jerry Plant's on. Hey, Jerry, did you get your books? I dropped 2 books off for you down at the store about a week and a half ago. Jeff put them under the counter, so if you have not got them yet, they're sitting under the counter. New England RV Dealers says, "Hi guys." Is that you, Michelle, posting as New England RV Dealers? Perhaps? Because John and I are already on, so it can't be John and I. Let's get our first guest up here. Nick Wright from Unlimited RV Rentals and Sales in Connecticut, a NERVDA dealer. And Nick joins us tonight with his entire family. Oh, let me stay tuned. I got to just change one thing up here.
We'll see the whole wizard.
There we go.
There we go.
Right. And this is the first, Nick, we have never had any guest show up with his family in a Norman Rockwell setting.
We're a little scared. We'll figure it out, though.
The kids look so happy to be here.
Right. Dad, do we really have to do this? Introduce your family. Right?
My wife, Michelle, of course, who we were on a couple weeks ago when we started this. My daughter, Lexi, and son, Parker.
Parker does wheelies.
Wheelies and donuts.
Wheelies and donuts.
Yeah, you'll see some of it. I don't think we see the high risk stuff in the video, but Nick provided us with a 2-minute video.
We're going to show that. We're going to show that video.
Yeah, let me show it now. Now, in order to do this, I've got to drop everybody off the screen. I got to bring the video up. So hopefully we'll do this without a whole lot of problems. So you guys sit back.
Keep your audio on.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Look at this. That's the best looking person in the show right here.
So let's do this.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties, maybe.
But so Nick, why don't you do this? You said to the kids, Lexi, tell us how you liked going out there and what was your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part was Buttercup because it wasn't as big as the real dunes.
Yeah, so Buttercup is the southern dunes next to the Mexican border. So they got a lot more, lower level dune time there.
Oh, is that where you were on the right on the wall?
Yep, yeah, we did the
on the wall.
Yep.
Did any border patrol people attempt to stop you and ask for identification?
Nope. No. They're out there. They're out there all the time though, and you just wave.
How about you, Donut Man? Donut Man, what was your favorite part?
Buttercup too, because we got to dig really big holes, and Dad like the side by side, he got to pull us up, like it was like a big bowl, really deep, and we were at the bottom, and then he pulled us up with like the front thing.
So they were.
You have one of those.
Yeah. We since we're
the winches.
Connecticut people, we have winches too, which is weird for West, but yeah. So they would like to go down the whole way into the bottom of a bowl that's about 150 foot deep, and then try and drag up on the winch. So just.
But you were just like surfing, right? Your body was on in the ground. You were just holding on to the rope.
Yeah, they were just playing.
Oh, I saw that. On the video. So Michelle, from the looks of it, you were driving the other. You call them side by sides? Is that what you call them?
Yeah.
And did Nick try to leave you guys in the dust? Did he ever challenge you? Did he ever question your mechanical ability?
Yeah. We did race a little bit. We went to the sand drags and raced a little bit. I
beat him.
I beat him taking off, and then I think he
cheated. I think I've got it. We're going to try this one more time. There was a problem.
Try it again.
There was a problem with the size of the file, so let me see if I can at least get it up on the screen. Okay, so we should be fine. So let's do this all over again.
Well, we can't do it all over again if we didn't do it the
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, do you can hear me? Can you hear me, John? Go ahead and talk. Can you hear? Can you see them?
Now I can't. Now we were muted.
Okay. So
Okay.
I think it had to do with the file size. So you didn't get any sound at all?
None whatsoever.
Okay, we'll talk through the video because it was 100 megabytes, so it was a little bit large. So we got a couple of questions. I really want to know what your accommodations were like as you went along. Hello, Audrey. Hello, Jim. Ryan, he's out there. Jim Taro, how you doing? No sound. Sorry, Jim. I screwed that up here. We'll keep practicing to figure that out. But Nick, let's talk about some of the accommodations that you found along the way as far as campgrounds and how you found traveling in the motorhome in general.
Sure. So, we've done it many, many times, of course, so we're used to it. And I'll just preface it real quick and then let Michelle walk you through where we stayed and how we did that. As we said before, we go with no plan. So it was, hey, here's our first destination, Glamis, and then we're going to come back through slowly. And we just find a place, 4 or 5 hours before we land. So we never had a problem finding a place. The only place we couldn't stay, which wasn't a problem because we stayed an hour away, was Moab, Utah. That town was shut down to overnight stays. You could still be there riding during the day, but you did have to leave and find another place. So we just headed to Colorado over the border. But I'll give it to Michelle and she can run you through. Here's each night where we stayed. And I think she actually has all the details to, with the KOA or what else it was.
Well,
Yeah.
Michelle, if you could just zero in on the part about getting accommodations, was that any issue at all? And the campgrounds that you went to, were they filled? Did you talk to other RVers that, may not have been in the, hauling ATVs like you guys, but, were older and could you deal with any full timers that looked like they were in panic mode?
So we didn't have anything planned out at all. We typically just call when we're a couple hours out and know about where we're going to go or where we're going to be. And so I would start calling, and about maybe 3, 4, 5 hours out of the city that we think we're going to head to and find some campgrounds. And really, I don't think there were any cities that we ran into a problem of finding a campground.
No, as far as the full-timer question, we did, I'd say the biggest place we saw full-timers at, where it was a campground full of full-timers, was Camp Verde, Arizona, which is about 3,000 foot up, really nice, clean campground, privately owned. And of course we got in no problem, but that was, I'd say 3/4 full of full-timers. And then the rest of the parks were probably, we stayed at one where we were the only ones, and that was in Monument Valley. And then the majority would be minimal half full, and that was, little campers all the way up to full timers and 40 footers. Mm-hmm. So it was really a mix.
Now, by full timers, I hope I'm not mistaking you with seasonals or people that were there for the long haul.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, that's hard to tell. Whenever I say full timer, I'm saying somebody that's in their 40-foot diesel pusher. We don't know the difference, right? We don't know if they're there
Right.
for a long
Okay,
time.
so they may have only been there for a week or so.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Did you spend a lot of time on the interstates? And if you did, what was the traffic like as far as RV traffic is concerned?
So interstates, you could barely tell a difference. Some of the cities were busier than you'd think. For example, Phoenix, coming through Phoenix, Arizona was like regular business. There was no difference. Once you get into Yuma, Arizona, that was the most bustling city I've seen in years. It was crazy busy there. It looks like the only difference going on there was that you had to drive through a food place instead of going in. But in general, interstates, I guess you're not used to the ratio because you're not driving them every day, but there were more trucks and RVs than there would be regular cars.
Yeah.
There were a lot of RVs out there.
Yeah.
Michelle, did you talk to the kids a lot? Did the topic of, we're doing this instead of being in school, did that topic ever come up at all about the real learning experience that you provided for them?
Oh yeah, it came up a lot. I mean, that was the whole reason we were out there. So, I mean, I think they really understood that this wouldn't have happened, or it might not have happened for another couple of years probably, if this virus wouldn't have happened. We're just too busy right now, or we have been too busy. I mean, we haven't taken a long vacation for probably 2 years now because of our business. So, I mean,
so this was a great opportunity to kind of mix everything, the school closings, the business slowdown, and just say, look, we're just going to hop in the motorhome and head west. Now, you had roots in California. I mean, you knew where you were going. That was your old stomping grounds, Nick, or you used to run through those mountains and dunes before?
True. Yeah. So when I was in the Marines, I lived in Yuma, Arizona for a long time, 5 years, and specifically to race off-road, and the dunes was a good stomping ground. And then when we came back, though, so we knew where we were going everywhere else. When we came back, we said, hey, well, first of all, we ran into a bunch of weather that would have put us in a pinch in Colorado. So we took the big twisty roads down through the mountains instead of heading to 12,000 feet coming out of Denver. And yeah, we were going to get about 4 inches of snow, and we were running 21,000 pounds, and that wouldn't have been fun. So
probably not.
A bunch of different routes coming through there, and then we just ran into places. Hey, we can go unload here, and we can go ride here, or hey, let's stay there. It's really cool. And then I think the best place was, believe it or not, I lived in Arizona for a long time and never actually drove 2 hours north to Monument Valley. We came in at night and got a KOA that had just reopened. They were closed. Yeah, they just reopened that day. And we woke up in the middle of Monument Valley, which was super cool.
Yeah,
I just for everybody that was on early, Kevin Hiroki just joined. We had some technical problems with the video on the sound, but I've just posted over on the right the link to the entire video. That was a promo, so you can watch the entire video. I posted a YouTube link over on the right, so that you get to see the craftsmanship that Nick has in terms of editing and production, and that's just a fantastic video. Let me ask you this: at the beginning, the kids probably thought you were crazy, right? And then
no. I think his in-laws may have thought he was crazy, and coworkers, but
right.
Kids probably didn't think you're crazy, right, you guys?
So when they realized,
they were on board, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle wasn't on board at first because everything started to go down, and I said,
I was pretty hesitant to go.
Yeah, I said,
okay,
we're not going to get 2 weeks anytime soon.
Yeah. So, but after you get home, and they kind of say, "This is pretty cool, Dad and Mom. When can we go again?" What was their perception after they got home about taking an RV trip like that?
Yeah, they had a great time. They loved it. They got to see the Grand Canyon. None of us had ever seen it. So
did you go into Williams What area were you in the canyon from? What
The South Rim.
South Rim? Okay. Were you anywhere near Williams, Arizona?
Mm,
66. Okay.
Not sure.
no, we didn't. No, we didn't do that. We came in through Sedona.
Sedona.
So
Okay.
we came right heading north through Sedona to hit the South Rim.
You didn't go to Winslow, Arizona. You went
Doesn't sound
on the
familiar.
corner of Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see.
Is it?
It is. It is. The Eagles sing about that song.
He's talking about an Eagles song.
Yeah. No. But there is a place, right, guys?
No, it's a real place with a fake wall.
Right. It's a real wall. It's a fake
It's
car.
a real wall, but there's no building behind it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so that
Even on the corner of Winslow, Arizona.
I thought it could.
So let's see if our viewers have any questions for the Wright. The few minutes we have left.
We kind of collected them tonight, so I'm going to go up to the top. So Rick Kessler again, and people make note for those of you who joined late. Following Rick's normal tradition, tonight Rick Kessler was the first person on the screen, followed by Scott Nichols, and then Jerry Plant came on. And Frank Kedza anxiously listening up again for some good news on camping, traveling in the near future. We get that. And Michelle and Laurie are here. Audrey's here. Adam Parks, that's a new name, I think. Evening, John and Bob. Good evening, Adam. Jim Turntine is on. Riney is on. In case you folks haven't noticed on our, if you're following on our Facebook page, we're doing these spring into summer virtual RV tours, and Bradford RV has been doing some really great things with what they call Wildwood Wednesday. And Riney, I found out today, Riney's the brains behind that graphic and what they're doing there. So great job, Riney.
Hey, Jerry's got the best one here where he says he always gets a laugh out of people that have every stop of a 6-month journey. I think he's talking about Walter. And my guess is that Walter, the engineer type, and Nick and Michelle, the non-engineer type, couldn't be more further apart in their advanced planning. My guess is that Walter and his family would have every grain of sand that they traversed in Arizona accounted for before they went on it. Whereas Wright just kind of like, you just threw sand up against the wall and said, wherever we end up, we're going to end up, right?
What was the most unusual place you visited?
Unusual.
Memphis.
I don't know.
Nothing too unusual,
Yeah.
I guess. Really
Okay,
nothing weird
good
on
old-
this trip. It was kind of the basic stuff. We did stop and see the Cadillac Ranch. I saw it in Amarillo, Texas. I think we told you we were going to stop there on the last video. Just something random,
weird,
but that was the only kind of off the wall thing.
So when you were on your road days, were you doing 7-8 hours a day, or were you just doing 3 hours or 2 hours or hanging around for a period of time?
We had a couple long days where it was 6 to 8 hours, but that was the max. Any other time was, we're just gonna zip down here. It's only an hour, or would have 3 hours. And then there were a couple long 8-hour days. I don't like to drive.
Now, was one of the pictures of the military base that was one of the pictures that we saw, or was I just thinking of?
It was, yeah. So once we went out there, in fact, we drove by all of our old houses out there just to remember 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And of course, I was stationed at MCAS at the air station in Yuma, so we zipped past there to show the kids and everything.
So Michelle, did you drive the rig also?
No, I didn't. I do drive the rental RVs that we have, at our shop. But we had a trailer connected to this one, so it made it extra long, and I wasn't up for that. And we had a lot of wind through most of this trip. And
Could you feel that wind? Could you feel that wind against the sides, knocking you sideways?
Yeah, we were over a quarter turn on the steering wheel the whole way through Oklahoma. It was pretty ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, you get out in those wind fields.
Never to the
Yeah.
point though where you said, I'm going to have to stop and face the wind,
You could.
I
right?
was looking for handlebars on the passenger side.
Yeah.
At
And
the
the
time.
The kids, let me ask you this. Obviously under different circumstances, but would you do, well, I know you'd do it again because you have access to the RVs, but what would you say to people that, you know, are casual RVers or they've never RV'd and they're watching this presentation and, you know, everybody's always on the fence. I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do it next month. I'm going to do it next time. Well, based on the circumstance that we're all in right now, who knows when next time will be and if there will be a next time.
That's kind of, you know, whenever we first came up with it, the kids were going to be on spring break anyway. And I said, we're going to have extra time and we need to do it now. Michelle said, not, maybe not. There's a lot going on. I said, if we don't take advantage of this time,
Yep.
we may lose it. It may be another 2 years. So that's why we made the decision to just jump and go. And now we're back and everything's fine.
No hesitation now. I mean, no regrets now that you did it.
Right.
Not at all.
I'm really glad we did it. It was definitely worth it. The Grand Canyon was so amazing to see.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. So I'm really glad you got out there.
Amazing. The Grand Canyon is cooler in person than any picture you've seen, right?
Did you go?
Oh yeah,
Did you go up to Hoover Dam?
it's unreal.
Did you do Hoover Dam also?
That's
We did. Yeah, we didn't do that this time. We've done that before.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
All right, now from a business standpoint, are you getting more calls this year than last year, given the environment and the pent-up demand to get out there? And we think from a business standpoint, both in terms of product sales and rentals, that once the handcuffs are off, this industry is going to go crazy. What are you seeing from a business standpoint, Nick?
Right. So the rentals are flat or up. The up part of that this time of year is due to utilities and people want to rent them for temporary housing rather than this week in Connecticut is typical spring break. Of course, they'd all be booked out then. But then you'd have a little lag period in May, but they're all booked out. I've only got onesie, twosie left coming in back and forth. And the sales, they're flat. You get a lot of unknown people or, hey, I'm going to wait this out.
Okay. Well, look,
So
we are right up against 7:30. Nick, Michelle, family, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And as I said, folks, over on the right-hand side, I did put a YouTube link to the entire video. And you certainly can look at the NERVDA site, and I'll put up Nick's contact information afterwards. We'll put that on the side too. Any closing comments, Nick, Michelle?
No, I don't think. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's definitely a good trip. Do it when you can.
You're the only ones that have been on twice in 3 weeks.
Oh, there you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's right.
In fact, we got to start doing that even with our regular guests, the people that are viewers. If they're going on trips, we should, Bob, a little programming note here, make a note to have them join us from their destination once we get destinations for them to join us from.
That's a
Give
good
us
point.
a 5-minute sneak peek of where they're at.
That's a good point. We'll do that.
Yeah, Texas.
So you guys were the trailblazers on that. All right, we'll do that. I'm going to drop you guys down. I'm going to bring David up. Thank you very much, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Hey, you guys. So, folks, before Bob puts David up, and I know David is waiting in the green room enjoying our libations and food.
There we go.
There we go.
We want to tell you to please, we want to say please and thank you.
Oop, I don't know if I can hear you, Bob.
Can you hear us, David?
He's got to do his
Yes, I'm live.
second commercial. Can you hear us?
David, you can hear us? Did you mute him or is he unmuted?
No, he's
Oop, I could hear Rick before, but I can't hear you, Bob. Not
Can you
sure.
hear me?
That's interesting. I am up and I am unmuted, but you can hear John. All right, John, you talk to him and tell him you're going to do a commercial.
Okay, Jerry, you can hear. I mean, Jerry. See, I'm looking at Jerry over here, who's saying, "Hi, boss. I'm here. I'm watching you." David, you can hear. Can you hear anything, David? Doesn't sound like he can.
Oh boy.
So, Bob, why don't you do this? Call David and just tell him to go out and come back in again.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'll take over the show, which I
You
usually
may not have sound.
There we go.
You got it?
I could hear Rick when he was talking,
I know, but
but I can't hear you, Bob.
Can you hear us now?
Yep, no sound.
No sound. All right.
So while you're fiddling with that, I'll do the share thing.
Okay, good. Yeah.
In other words, I'll salvage the show like I do just about every week.
There you go.
Folks, we want to thank you so much for joining us on our live edition. And
Let me pop out and pop back in.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead and back. Yeah. Go out and come back in.
So we want to thank you so much for joining us on a live edition. And you guys know the rule by now. What we ask you to do, not the rule. The script. Please share this with your friends. And last week's show we're like almost 12,000 viewers.
Yeah, go out and come back in, okay?
With our friends.
Thanks.
Okay. I don't know who you see or hear.
I was just asking them to go out and come back in.
Okay. In the meantime, show us your dog who's yawning.
Oh, that's Wally. Wally's yawning. Hey, before we get back to David, this is a very important week,
No, other way.
All right, let me get David's in the lobby. Let me get him back in. I could hear him, so that's a good sign. All right.
David, if it doesn't work, just have him call in and we'll do the audio part like we do all the time.
All right,
David,
can you hear us?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
There we go.
Right.
There we go.
So as our second guest, we have David Major, who owns Major's RV and Service Center in beautiful Bourne Cape Cod.
Yes.
No, it's cod, Bob, not quad.
I thought that's how they said it down there.
Oh,
yeah,
my.
All the New Yorkers don't say it.
Yeah.
So I need to tell David that, as we said with Nick, the cool part about having David here with us tonight is that not only does he make his living in the RV industry, as he has had for many, many years, but he's also an active RVer.
Oh, yes.
And David, we don't want to talk to you tonight about how many bays you have for service, how many square feet the store is. We don't want to talk to you about Jerry. We don't want to talk to you about Jeff and Jill and all the other great people.
Don't hurt Jerry's feelings.
By the way, Jerry did join us at exactly 7:01, so he is here.
Fantastic.
He's prompt.
There he is. Hey, boss. There he goes.
Hi, David.
Hey, Jerry.
David, you're ironically, one of the few people in the industry that actually sees what you're dealing with on a business basis through the eyes of a consumer. Why is that important for your business, that you're a consumer and can kind of tell what the customer's going through when they're on the road?
Oh, yeah, because I really think everyone needs to, in order to be able to have like empathy with your customers, you've got to learn like what it's like when your hot water heater in your RV doesn't work, or what you go through trying to set up a camper. There's so many people that don't RV, they're in the RV business, and they may know the product, but they don't use the product. And I was psyched to hear about the other trip the family had there, because it's just great for people that use RVs, rent RVs, sell RVs, fix RVs, to be out there, living in the RVs for a trip. It's just, I think, a fabulous thing.
Describe your trip, the duration, the miles, and all that other good stuff.
Okay, our last trip, we do a trip usually every late winter. We left in kind of late January with no reservations. We had 0 reservations made before we left, even though we'd been planning to do the trip since the year before. And just went where the full wind blew us. We out of Massachusetts down through Pennsylvania, Virginia, Tennessee, and then Georgia, Texas, New Mexico,
down
over to
81.
Arizona.
You
And
went 84, 81.
what's that?
84, 81.
84, 81. Yep. 81 down, down to 10 to 20
Oh, wait.
across.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot more time in New Mexico this year, which New Mexico is actually cold. It's kind of funny. Usually we pass right through it, but spent a little time in New Mexico, and then over to Arizona and zipped into California for a little while and came back and down through Texas and then back up home. And we did right around 7,900 miles
Wow.
in just about 2 months.
Yeah, I
Just about 2 months.
can tell you were really taking it easy, David.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's Yuma, our favorite. That's our favorite campground over in Yuma, Arizona. The
That
Palm,
wouldn't have been
Palm
funny if you
Resort.
ran into the Wrights. That would have been funny.
What makes it a favorite campground?
It's a beautiful campground. They have big pools, jacuzzis. They've got a bar. Drinks, and then we get a bar right by the pool with happy hour going on, and it's nice and warm. I mean, it's probably 86 on the days we were there. Just a gorgeous place to be.
Well, do you
Were
want
you the youngest people there?
to tell us the name, or do you want to just keep it a secret?
Oh, that's the Palms RV Resort.
Okay.
Out there. Yeah, beautiful place. It's designed kind of like a big wheel, which is a little unusual for a campground, but really nice, really big sites, lots of activities going on. They had a huge pickleball competition going on while we were there.
Okay. Describe pickleball, because people in the Northeast have no clue what pickleball is.
If you're not down in Florida or Texas and California, they're saying pickleball. What the hell was he drinking at the bar?
Yeah, pickleball's kind of like a mix between ping pong and tennis for old people. So they're playing right on tennis courts, but it's kind of more like it reminds me of ping pong.
Were you the youngest person at the RV facility?
Oh, yes, yeah. That's usually one thing we find out while we're traveling is we are usually very much on the younger side compared to the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
They've got a few years on me. They're usually fully retired and enjoying the good life. We only get to sneak away for a month or two. Then we have to go back to reality.
So,
What's going on?
now you said so you were flying by the seat of your pants, but how was it in terms of getting reservations?
It's not too bad. I think we maybe one time we couldn't get into the exact campground we wanted, but the one thing I like about doing it is it's a lot more what do I say on the fly. So if you're having a great time in a place, you stay there longer. If you get to some place it's not what you thought it was,
Get out of town.
you're out of town. Yeah, we went down. We stayed on the beaches down in Texas, down in the Brazos County beaches, where you could park right out on the beach, right by the water, because it's all real hard packed.
On the Gulf Coast?
It was nice, but the weather, we just had bad weather. It was just, I mean, you couldn't get that. So we stayed the one night, enjoyed it, and left. We had thought we'd be there a couple days, but the weather just didn't cooperate. So yeah, you move on to somewhere else.
Hearing major sound interference? Anybody else? Does anybody else hear major sound interference?
No, not hearing anything.
Okay. So David, Rick Kessler wants to know, what was the unit? What was the rig that you had for this trip? What were you driving?
I've got a Newmar Baystar, but it's a small one, 29 foot. And we like the 29 foot because we can get into all the national parks. So yeah. Did I think the only thing we had a shower faucet that had a leak. I think that's about the only thing bad we had happened during the trip. So we do that, and we tow a Mini Cooper convertible. So, yeah.
Okay, so Rick and Jerry say they are hearing something like a bad wind in the background, but I'm not.
There it is again. There it is. Now it's okay right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay right now.
Yeah.
So this was in Lost Dutchman.
Yes, Lost Dutchman State Park, which is fabulous. If you get a chance to do Lost Dutchman, we out of randomness got one of the perfect sites. Bob, I don't know if you other picture with the campfire.
I was looking at it, but apparently it didn't come through. Because
Oh, it didn't come through. Okay, yeah.
That's the one. No, it came through from you, but I downloaded, but I don't have it for some reason.
Yeah, we were right on at the base of the mountain, so we looked out our entrance door right up at the Superstitious Mountains, and they are just fabulous. And we get to hike around them. Didn't hike up them, but hiked around them, and just had a fabulous time. You seen the picture walking amongst the cactus out there. Just a great time. Yep, I really advise if anyone gets out there, go see the Superstitious Mountains and Lost Dutchman State Park if you can get into it. It's hard to get into, but a real nice little park.
David, when you take your winter trip, is it a different place every year, or do you follow the same route, or what?
We did this similar route 3 years ago, but we missed stuff. Like 3 years ago, we didn't get to Sedona, and Sedona was amazing. Oh my gosh! And we had friends with us the other trip, but I apologized to them that we didn't get to go to Sedona with them because it is just fast. Sedona's the Red Rocks.
Okay, been there.
And formations, and just a quaint little artsy town, but just lots of stuff to hang around, and a lot of neat other little towns just outside of Sedona, Cottonwood, and a few others. Real nice old towns, just kind of laid back stuff. So
there's that town that Michelle. I don't know if Michelle is still on, but that not Prescott, but that little town on top of the mountain. Just outside Sedona, and there's a railroad around there.
Okay. Yep.
But
this was Red Rocks, wasn't it?
That's yes. Yep. That's Sedona. Yes.
That's Sedona. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that trip we did Sedona and Sonoma.
Oh, okay. Yep.
No, Sonoma is over by San Francisco. That was the other one. That was another trip. That same year we did a couple trips, but that was. Did you go to the Grand Canyon at all this time?
Not this trip. We've done it twice before. So this trip we didn't do Grand Canyon, but we did get into California over to the Joshua Tree National Park, which is nice. But we had snow over there. I had more snow on this trip than they had back here on Cape Cod during the whole winter. We got
What did you do?
We got 2 inches of snow in Deming, New Mexico, and we got about another inch or inch and a half maybe over in Joshua Tree. It was just a wild.
Did it melt the next day?
So this
what's that?
This was before social distancing, David. What
yes, that is the sunset at the airport in Sedona. Yep, everybody's
at the airport. You were camping at the airport.
No, well, you go up to the airport's on top of a mesa, so you all go up to the top, and it's funny. You all have to pay $3 to park just to see the sunset. So you pay $3 to park for about 15 minutes, and everybody gets to watch the sunset and the Red Rocks, and it's really amazing. Yeah.
So you could go up to Cadillac Mountain at Acadia and see the sun come up, and you go to the airport out there and see the sun go down.
Yeah, if I'm not in the same day.
Of RVing.
Yes.
Not in the same day.
You'd have to do some traveling to get them in the same day. That's right.
That's true. It would be kind of difficult to do at the same day. Frank,
David,
or
do you eat most of the stuff in the RV? Do you eat most of your meals?
We probably eat most of our meals in, but we do like to get out to local restaurants. So we eat out quite a bit also. So I will say that we try to eat in the camper So we're not spending all our money on restaurants, but we love to get out to the local restaurants.
So,
Yeah.
did you on this trip? Did you Waffle House it at all?
No, actually, no Waffle Houses this year, but we laugh every time we go by them. Yes, yeah, we laugh every time we go by the Waffle Houses. This year we didn't do any Waffle Houses, but we have in the past.
How about How about In-N-Out burgers?
No, yeah, no In-N-Outs and no Five Guys burgers. We do them usually. We're down in South Carolina.
With the Five Guys.
Yeah, we do the Five Guys and the In-N-Outs down in the Carolinas. So yeah,
or the Carl's Jr. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear what people like to do with their dining, because I know in Sonoma, what the hell was it called again? Simona, the one you just mentioned.
Sedona.
Sedona. There was some pretty cool outdoor restaurants there, right?
Yes. We the first night there, we ate at the what's it called? Like Cowboy Ranch or Cowboy Cafe, and you were outside.
Giant place, right?
What's that?
A giant place.
Yeah, very big place. You're right on the main street, and we ate outside, and you're looking right at the rocks, and they have names for the rocks, and it was Linus and Snoopy and Sally, I think, are the two big rocks formations. You're looking at me and we actually had fried cactus there. They had fried cactus.
Fried cactus.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a joke, but actually is. It's actually pieces of some kind of cactus that they can cut up and they deep fry it, kind of like deep fried pickles.
Wow!
Out there they fry everything.
Yes.
I never heard of that. So who's your buddy here, David?
Oh, that's Roswell, New Mexico, alien capital of the
Area
world.
51.
Yes, and it is such a riot out there. Everything you talk about eating out, the McDonald's out there is shaped like a UFO saucer. In Roswell, the whole town is just decked out for the alien invasion with it there. So
I see Walter Swenson has joined us because he heard us talking about him in vain earlier. We said Walter's the one who plans every mile of every trip out. And you did this with, did you say at the start of this segment that you did this with no reservations to start with?
Yeah, no reservations
Walter,
at all.
No reservations. Hop in the motorhome, turn the key, drive, and then worry about it tomorrow.
That's it. Yep, we did a couple Walmarts, just a couple times, kind of depending on where you're at. So sometimes we're trying to make mileage up. Most of the other nights you can find, but when you head like south and west, you can find campgrounds that have availability, as opposed to like Florida in the winter. In the wintertime is that's tough. I wouldn't try it. I wouldn't try that in Florida. I wouldn't try it in the Northeast in the summertime. They're just we're limited on campgrounds, but you get out, down kind of to this, to the southwest section there. There's so much selection. You may not even get into some of the fancy ones. There's I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but I pronounce it as Pikachu State Park in Arizona, which has all the sequoia cactuses, and we could only get in there for 2 days. And I wish we could get in there more, but it's just packed.
Rick Kessler says, so how about the pandemic apocalypse? Well, we weren't really going to talk about that. But you caught that on the apocalypse. Yeah.
Apocalypse.
You caught that you were just on the tail end of that when you got home.
As we were heading back, it was getting worse. We kind of funny. We usually theme our RV trips, and this trip was antiques. We were antiquing and flea marketing everywhere we went. And as we
were you actively involved, or were you just folded, sitting in the RV with your arms folded, saying, "Okay, you ready"?
No. We were antiquing in the stores, and it was social distancing. We were just there's very few people in the store, so it was great. And we kept to ourselves, and if somebody else came to the store, they kept to themselves. And we were watching it unfold as we were out there. And it was getting a little crazy, but the nice thing was the last 3 campgrounds on our way back, they're state campgrounds. we had no human interaction, like face to face at all. We did our reservations, the night before. So we had our reservations. We paid obviously online. We had our map and our site numbers, and we just pulled in the campgrounds right to our sites. Waved to the other people, and the campgrounds were just about full. But everybody was just keeping their distance. Kids out riding bikes, but nobody was crowding and stuff like that. But we, as we come back up, we're hearing all the stories that some state campgrounds would be shut down, but we were fortunate that to make it just before they were shutting some of them down.
David, when was it that you got back, and what was your trip, your last 500 miles? Were you coming from the south, from down Washington, D.C. area?
We were coming, we were coming back 81 to 84. So
Okay.
our last thing, and we got back here, I want to say March like 25th, somewhere right around there. Yeah.
So you were into it for a couple of weeks then, because John and I got back from Winnebago on the
12th. 12th, yeah.
and that was when everything fell apart.
Yeah.
Because when we were out in Palm Springs, it was business as usual, and people were buying RVs and doing the like. So you had a couple of weeks right into the. Did you ever get make calls where people said, "Hey, we're closing, we're not here"? I mean, did you have that?
I called one state campground in, wow, where was it? Might have been, one state campground, I forget where it was, that was not taking anyone else in. And I forget what state it was, but the last three we had were still open, which was, I think, Alabama, Tennessee, and Virginia. On the way back up.
So what were they doing here? Extracting some of your brain or what?
What's that?
What were they doing?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like you were being tortured.
Yeah, that's it in Roswell. Yeah, the alien museum there. You can actually get your photo taken with aliens. So they have a bunch of little studios set up there. They had that one. I don't think I sent you the one to the bar. I'm sitting at the bar with an alien and a couple other ones. So real fun time. A lot of hilarious stuff in Roswell, New Mexico.
Jerry says you brought back thousands of antique RV models.
Yeah, we collect antique RV toys. So little Tonka, like Tonka toys, little Winnebago motorhomes. There's some Nylint called little RVs. Quite a few of them that we get back to the 40s, 50s, 60s, and we brought back. I brought back about 20 last year, and I think I got maybe about 30 this year.
So you have them around the store too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it. We hang them all up on it. Actually, I had to buy shelves this year too. So we have them on shelves all around the showroom. It makes a nice appearance.
So besides selling them antifreeze and toilet paper, you can have a little museum too.
Yes. There we go.
Built in. So that's an added plus going to your large parts and accessory store, which is probably the largest one, certainly in New England and the East Coast.
So, David, two quick questions.
Sure.
Did you run into any roadblocks anywhere that were related to the pandemic thing? And number two, what would you say to people that only RV during the summer and the fall, the spring, summer, and the fall in New England, and never consider doing anything like you did at this time of year?
Oh, it's well, first thing, we didn't hit any pandemic roadblocks. We did hit immigration roadblocks out there. When you're down right next to the border in New Mexico, Arizona, you hit the immigration roadblocks. They're kind of fun to go through.
What do they ask you?
Actually, they didn't ask us anything. It's kind of funny. They've the cameras all set up for, I guess they're checking heat signatures, and they have the dogs. But they just kind of pull up to the stations, and most of the time they're real nice. They kind of just wave you through, and you're moving right along. So, yeah, no problems at all.
Wow.
So, yeah. Oh, the picture you got there is Bisbee, Arizona. That's the copper mine in Bisbee, Arizona.
Yeah,
picture.
Yeah. So, how far underground is it?
I think we're 1,300 feet underground. You hop on a little train, and a little train takes you down. It was the largest copper mine, I believe. Yep, there it is, largest copper mine in the United States, and it was active until 76. I'm guessing my memory here, showing my memory off, but real nice. Bisbee. I wish we spent more time there. That was another little place, little antique town that it's just kind of locked in the 1960s, and
Really?
real nice. Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
Kessler's still
Kessler's pretty active tonight.
Kessler's still doing work. Apparently, he says, "What's David's business like right now?" David's business is always good, Mr. Kessler. I'll let David expand on that.
Yeah, we've been active. We had one of the best first quarter we've ever had, January, February, March, to it, and we have work just getting backed up right now. So it's amazing the amount of people that are either getting ready to go or a lot of people just coming back in from trips. So we're staying active. We're doing very well.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah.
That's fantastic. John, we're pushing right up against.
Oh, you know what? I think this is how do you say it? Your own show was an interesting show, but it's interesting to see people that are actively engaged in the business side of RVing see their business through the eyes of their consumers. And I think that gives Nick and David both an opportunity to, really know what their customers go through on a daily basis. And I commend them for doing that.
Sure.
And I've got to see them in a couple of weeks. We were supposed to see them late last month at the end of March for a roof repair, but I'm still in winter storage because of the situation that we're in here.
Sure,
but
sure.
We'll be down soon, David.
Yeah.
It is a great perspective when the owners of the business, the RV-related business, can actually talk with their customers about real-world experiences. And I wish we would have more people in the industry that actually do that.
Hold on. I think it's important to point out that picture that's also there, that's not David's staff. We were talking about the business. I didn't want anybody to think that there's Jeff in the front.
That's Jeff.
Gary Plant over there.
Yeah.
That's it. We've been called to a few strange things, but never aliens. So
Never aliens.
He might name all those people now that he's back and sees the rest of it. So yeah,
Sure.
Frank
And
says Pine Brush, New York has a diner featuring little green men called Cup and Saucer. Travel through this scenic area of New York. You ever heard that one on your travels, John? You've been all around the place.
Never heard of that one. I have no idea where Pine Bush, New York is.
No.
So.
Yeah.
No, haven't heard of that one. Well, David,
Anyway.
before you go, tell them where to find Majors RV and how to get a hold of you. Yeah.
Yep. Majors RV. We are down right in Bourne, which is on Cape Cod. We are right on Route 28, just about 3/4 of a mile over the Bourne Bridge, right on Route 28. Right up on the highway. Come on down. We have a large parts accessory showroom with lots of antique RV toys hanging up on the walls and some great people. And I love to talk about my trips. So if you come down, we can give you pointers on trips. Love to hear your stories. It's always fun to find out where people go and interesting sites. And this year we had someone suggest to us to go to Meow Wolf. It's a really crazy arts museum in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We talked to someone, they suggested we went there. We went there and had a great time. So it's always good to learn off each other. So come on down.
That's fantastic. David, thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. And,
sure. Thanks, Bob.
All right. So,
and John.
And Saturday night, I forgot to post it up there, but don't forget Saturday night, we have another Saturday night special because you people like those as much as you do
full-time RVers.
So we're part 2 of the full-time RVers. So we'll see you Saturday night. Travel safe, guys. We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
No, see you Saturday.
I'm sorry, Saturday. See you this week. See, I don't know the day of the week. I don't know.
Have a great evening, everyone. See you soon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.